Welcome to the FATATCHULA Show. Raw reality. Honest reactions. Watch the footage. Hear the facts. Then decide for yourself. Yeah. Every
Raw reality. Honest reaction. Watch the footage. Decide for yourself. Everybody's talking, but nobody sees. Conclusions, they don't check receipts. Pause that frame, let the evidence breathe. Truth hits different when you look beneath. Blue lights flash over land law. Let's back and check the whole pot. Drama, we just connect the dot, breaking down. Raw reality, honest reaction. Facts over feelings, that's the attraction. No hype, no spin, no manufactured.
All right. As we get ready to start this wonderful comeback that many of you have reached out and asked me to come back and start doing the lives or the recaps or the reactions to the videos, I did get a lot of people asking me to do it. And I also have a lot of people that are happy that I'm redoing it. And of course, I have to come in and say hello. And of course, as I like to say all the time, hopefully everybody's well. Everybody's doing all right. As we come back, the FATATCHULA. Many people don't understand what it's all about. Okay, it's pronounced FATATCHULA, just like it's up on the board. So if you're trying to figure out how to say it, it's very simplified. FATATCHULA. It's real simple, right? This is the fat man who's spectacular. So here we go. As we have been doing many collabs, big old shout out to Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Ron and I have done many videos, many collaborations. Out the Pit podcast, it's a growing channel. Got to give a big old shout out to him as well. Doing a lot of big things. Always a pleasure to see my little nephew doing big things. We're not real nephews, uncles and nephews. We're a YouTube family, right? So brother Ron is a YouTube family member. Out the Pit from Out the Pit Live is a little nephew for Out the Pit Live. Out the Pit Sackcloth LLC. It's got a plethora of things. Queen Sackcloth as well. Got a big old shout out to her as well. Bam Bam, little nephew. Big old shout out to him. He's got a lot of things coming up. Another big old shout out to my other brother from another mother, Ant from Ants, Ant like the bug. I got to laugh because I remember a video that I did and I haven't showed it to him yet. And it was just a funny moment there. Ant from Ant, Ant like the bug. Of course, big old shout out because none of this cannot be done without my Queen of Queens supporting me and pushing me, of course, to get back into it. Of course, top to bottom. She's easiest way to put it is the biggest thing in my life. And nothing in life is going to take her place. So basically, that's something that y'all got to understand. Without her, nothing gets done. And, we here at the FATATCHULA Show, we do reactions to reaction videos, all kind of videos. It doesn't matter what the kind of video it is. If I find it interesting, I bring another point of view to it, and or I will bring facts behind it, and or I will bring things to make you think about whether it's fact or fiction or true or false, and or hopefully it'll reach somebody's mind and say, listen, I need to start really thinking about what I'm doing and or who I associate with. So I think I've gotten everybody. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody there. Big old shouts. Of course, Justin runs Diesel. Big old shout to him as well. Got to give him a big shout out. And of course, Mental Raccoon, for those that are actually into glass work. Mental Raccoon is a phenomenal glass maker. And the reason why I give him a shout out is because, of course, he was feeling kind of down a few days ago, or maybe a few weeks ago. I don't recall actually when. But I wanted him to know that I'm pushing for his recovery, whether it's emotional and or physical. So keep doing what you're doing there, brother, because society needs ideas that you can actually put in glass. And of course, I got to come back to Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. Ron, you have been, how should I put this? Inspirational as well to come back and do reaction videos. I mean, we've done a plethora of collaborations, and you said I should get back into it. The wife, of course, the Queen of Queens, she also said to get back into it. So I'm back into it. So as of today is July 5th, 2026 on the Eastern Standard Time of 2 p.m. or actually 2:06 p.m. We are here on the east side of the coast line. Okay, for those that don't know. And of course, as I mentioned, I do reaction videos. The reaction videos can come from anything. And I mean, literally anything. If it's a video, I'm going to react on it. Reason being is because I always try to, as I said before, bring another view behind it. And of course, hopefully reach certain people to open their minds and really, really understand why I do what I do and say what I say. Because sometimes many of us have this ability that we prefer to hear outside people than prefer to hear people within our own lives to understand what's going on. So this is the reason why I do this, because of course, sometimes people react better to when they see videos and they correlate it or make it part of their lives, or they've gone through it and they're trying to figure out which way is the better way to go. In layman's terms, like it's the term of insanity. Many of us have heard the term insanity, and of course, it's the term of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It's insane, right? Yet that term or that verbiage came from 1981. Is actually when it started. It was in an AA program, right? And within that AA program in 1981, they put in a pamphlet, and it said insanity is repeating the same mistakes and expecting different results. That's the actual term. What it says, insanity is repeating the same mistakes and expecting different results. And this started back in 1981, and many of us people, regardless of race, creed, color, culture, have used it. And the reason why I bring up that term of insanity is because today's reaction video is, I'm going to put it very, very bluntly, it's very, very disturbing. It's going to hurt many, many people of all races, all creeds, all colors, all sizes, male, female, alphabet group. You know what I'm talking about. Those that prefer to be involved with the same sex. It affects everyone, right? So as we talk about this, I ask that you understand that the videos I'm going to present today, I'm not going to have any volume, right? And the reason why I don't want to have any volume is because I need for everyone to see versus hearing. You can see the video. If you want to hear what's being said, it's all over social media. It's all over the news. It's out there. Okay. But I want you to focus on the actual actions, because on my reaction videos, like I've said to many, many people, I don't find humor in someone's demise or troubled life. I find the humor in what they're doing. So it's the actions that I find humor in. And of course, there are times that I don't find humor in the actions. I get disgusted and I speak a specific way where it may offend some folks and it make other folks feel much better. Yet at the end of the day, you really got to listen to what's being said by an outsider, and maybe, just maybe, you might understand why it affects you in a different way. Like the old saying goes, the truth hurts sometimes. Yeah, but do you actually listen to the people inside your group? No, you have to listen to people outside your group and take their advice versus those that are closest to you. So the reason I'm saying that is because, again, today's videos are extremely disturbing. Okay. And I personally don't like it. I don't like it on every possible level you can imagine. I don't like it. Right. And the reason why I chose to utilize this video or these videos for the return of the FATATCHULA Show reaction videos is because I want you guys to understand that I don't take sides. I don't take no one's side. I don't take no culture side. I don't take no specific race, creed, color. I don't care about none of that. What I care about is respect. You respect me, I respect you. It don't matter what you do, what you choose to do in your life. Listen, that has nothing to do with me, okay? The most important thing is respect. If you can't respect me, then there's no reason for me to even bother spending 1 second of my time with you, whether it's by thought, whether it's by mouth, whether it's by text. I'm not going to waste my time because you don't respect me. So I always believe that if you respect a person, you tend to get a lot more further in life than you would actually get if you do anything wrong to the person and expect that self-benefit to be beneficial when it's actually not. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone stopping in. Okay, I appreciate everybody past and, of course, future and present, all those that are coming in and all those that are swinging by to watch the reaction videos and to know what it's about. I promise you that after today, well, let me rephrase that. I promise that I would try to find more humor in a lot of the videos that I'm going to present, for we can actually have laughs, whether we're sitting at the table or sitting at the couch, on the couch at night, during the day, whatever the case may be. I'm going to try to find more humor for you guys. And with my reaction videos, rest assured that the majority of my videos will be humorous. It's that this one today, unfortunately, as I'm going to say, it hits close to home because I understand what the video is showing. And I want to present this to everybody back to the term of insanity, expecting, as I said, expecting different results and doing the same thing over and over again. What I mean by that is, you know, Brother Ron and I, we do a lot of reaction videos. And one of the biggest things that we talk about is government tyranny. And government tyranny, of course, is, in simple terms, is when an entity proves that they are much more stronger than the individual that's trying to fight a cause or a cause. So when you think about that, you got to remember it takes a group of people to vote in and another individual to represent that group. So when we look at that and we look at the politics, I'm not going to get into politics too deeply because that's not my thing. I just want you to understand, when you complain about something that's happening within your city, and you complain to the wrong people, meaning you're complaining to deaf ears, nothing is going to change. You can scream and holler to the top of your voice. You can burn down buildings, don't turn over cars, blow up cars, a whole slew of things that we've seen across, you know, all social media and across every, you know, possible state and even down to certain countries. The bottom line comes down to this. It's who you voting to represent you in the government. That's where it comes down to. You guys and girls, ladies and men, you always voting for the wrong person. You're voting for them because of their color. You're voting for them because they're giving you false promises. Think of it as the same thing as your relationship. If you got into a relationship with another person and you thought that that person was doing well with you, because they gave you this beautiful dream in the beginning, and then you found out that it wasn't right. How many of you have actually turned around and said, you know what, I can't deal with this relationship. We got to separate. This is not what I was looking forward to in my life. So the same way you did that is the same way you got to do with the people who you vote into office, which is government, right? So what that means is the local politicians, the state politicians, the federal politicians, whoever it is that you voted for, you have to understand that. And you must understand, rather, not that you have to, you must understand that that person is supposed to protect you and protect you in every possible way. If they cannot protect you, then why do you still continue to believe that that person is the right person that you chose to protect you? So with that also being said, Brother Ron and myself, we do something that's called gun talk, and we believe in the Second Amendment and the 14th Amendment, which is, of course, the right to defend yourself as a citizen, the right to protect yourself for property, and so forth. So the reason why I put that clause or that statement in there is because I want you guys to understand something. The videos I'm going to show you happen to be in the state of New York. Recently, April of 2026, there was 2 separate incidents in 2 separate places in New York that was very, very disgusting and very, very disturbing. Now, I can tell you like this. If it happens to be a state where you have the right to carry a firearm, I want to say comfortably that the people involved would not have gotten to do what they did in this video if the citizen exercised their right to bear arms, which is to protect themselves against government tyranny. That's what the Second Amendment is all about. The 14th Amendment is to protect the property of the citizens. So that means your belongings. So as we watch these 2 videos, again, please understand, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to say it again, the videos are extremely disturbing. They're disturbing in every single level of society. So I'm not picking a side. I'm going to point out things that many people did not want to realize and or want to acknowledge. Okay. And these are the things that I do in my reaction videos. I react to what I see versus to what I hear, because what I hear is a cloud of smoke. What I see is much more important. And that is something that I want you guys and girls and men and women and all those others that come and join my channel. And please like and subscribe. Whether you're watching it now or watching it later, like and subscribe, share the content. Maybe someone else would enjoy it. But always, always, always hit that thumbs up button, because the thumbs up button is going to allow us to know who's actually enjoying it, and it allows me to bring up more content for us to actually enjoy things. So let's go ahead with this segment, okay? And please understand what I'm about to say is, again, it's very, very disturbing. So if you want to call it a warning, call it a warning, but understand that this is something that many of you are not ready for and or will not accept. And of course, many of you I've heard not time and time again, it's very traumatic. So if it's traumatic, I ask you to forgive me, but I want you to understand what I am bringing to you is beneficial for you to move forward and understand what's needed as you move forward with situations and or information. Okay. So first and foremost, we have this gentleman here, okay, which is a police officer for the 40 precinct. That's the 40. Many of you in society want to use 0 instead of O instead of 0. So 40. So I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention his badge number for privacy reasons. Yet his face I'm going to show you. The precinct that he works at has, and I honestly tell you, if you can actually look it up, the precinct alone that he works at has, welcome, Namaria, welcome, shalom, shalom, shalom. I appreciate you stopping by. This police officer works at a precinct in the Bronx, okay, which is the 40 precinct in the Bronx, which is considered in the south side of the Bronx. And the precinct alone, with all the members of the police department, I can tell you now, as of today, has over 400 complaints against the police officers in that precinct. When you look at this and you say, well, what do you mean 400 complaints? 400 complaints ranging from everything that you can think of, from assault to misconduct to anything that a police officer is not supposed to do. This precinct has rather, should I say, more complaints than what it should have, okay? Because we know where police departments are supposed to have what is called community policing, which means they're supposed to protect the precinct. but they don't. Okay. This specific precinct, okay, the 40 precinct in the Bronx, okay, which is at 257 Alexander Avenue in the Bronx. Anybody knows the Bronx? This is why it's close to home for me, because I lived in the Bronx. I worked in the Bronx. I have a close association with the NYPD, and it disturbed me on many, many levels. Okay. And I can read to you right now. This is as of 2026 alone. I'm going to read off the numbers. These are the allegations that are against many police officers. I'm just going to give you numbers. I'm not going to give you names. I'm not going to give you badge numbers. But the reason why I want you to understand why I'm talking about this is because the video that we're going to watch emphasizes why there are so many complaints at this precinct. You have one police officer, 13 complaints against him, 16 complaints, 10 complaints, 19 complaints, 30 complaints, 38 complaints, 78 complaints, 62, 11, 16, 24, 10, 17, 19, 10, 20, 26, 10, 13, 13, 22, 21, 15, 46, 14, 13, 16, 10. And of course, every other number under those that I mentioned is there. Okay. The bad thing is that when you ask them to how many were resolved, the number I can tell you out of all those numbers I read to you, as far as allegations are concerned, there's only 20 allegations that have been resolved. So that tells me, and it tells you guys, and tells everyone that lives in the Bronx in this area and every other place within New York City, that only 1% of the allegations, which is the reports that are given by the civilians about police officers to the actual department of the NYPD, only 1% is being resolved in that one precinct. And we know that inside the Bronx, there are many, many police precincts, okay? Subdivisions as well, specialized units as well, which also in the other video I'm going to show this afternoon is one of the specialized units, which is very, very disturbing. So the reason why I want to focus on this one young man, this person rather, because I can't call him a young man because of what he has done. He's not a young man. He's not a man. He's an individual that believes he's above the law, which is 100% incorrect, because what he fails to remember is the citizens, which are the residents of that area, okay, and the people of that town, of the 10454 zip code, okay, of that area, they have voted for a politician to be in office. That politician refuses to protect the people of that zip code. Why I say that? Because of the video that you're about to watch is very disturbing. Okay, so please understand, once again, the video I'm showing you is very, very disturbing. It's beyond measures. Okay, and at no moment it's a laughing matter. I will not have any volume because I don't want you to hear. I want you to watch what I point out. Okay, so again, the people of the communities are the ones who vote for politicians. The politicians are supposed to protect the actual citizens of every single neighborhood. And the politician that was voted for 10454 Bronx, New York, has failed every person in that zip code as a representative for this matter and this matter alone. So, to give you a quick rundown what's happening. All these police officers here, as you see, all these blues, bald heads, so forth. This guy over here is someone who's being handcuffed. There's a gentleman here that's, or a person rather, that's being held by a bunch of police officers. That's a police officer, that's a police officer, police officer, police officer, police officer, police officer, police officer. So far you see I've counted 7 different police officers. Within all these police officers, there's a sergeant. And the reason why I mentioned that is because there is a supervisor in the mix. Now, to give you a quick rundown, this apparently is a school that they claim is a school. It could be a school. It could be some type of daycare center, whatever the case may be. But in the city of New York, they emphasize this concept about drinking in public is against the law. Now, again, you have to understand, drinking in public is against the law. Yes. Disorderly conduct is against the law. Yes. These are all offenses that require what is called a DAT, which is desk appearance ticket. Desk appearance ticket means that the police officer gets the identification card from the person and says, okay, you are required to appear in court for drinking in public or disorderly conduct. Here's your ticket. Thank you. Walk away. This video, unfortunately, gets escalated. If there was such a thing as 1,000%, it's 1,000%, but it escalates 100%. Let's continue. Now, I'm going to back up 30 seconds, actually 5 seconds. If you see close enough, let me break this up here because I want you to see this. You will not, some of you may say, well, Jay, this is kind of raw. Yeah, well, raw tends to make people understand what you're looking at. So I want you to see this right here for a quick moment. Here's one police officer looking to his right. Here's another police officer looking directly at this group of men here. This police officer turns around and looks at this group of men here. This sergeant and this police officer stay looking downward. But look, this one here looks up. This one here stops what he's doing to look. This one stops to do what he's doing and looks. This one turns around completely and looks. Now, understand that when a police officer stops what he or she is doing to turn around, it is because they hear something that's out of the norm, right? Now, let's play on. Now, this is why it's disturbing to me. Okay. We see it time and time and time again, how people are being handcuffed and beaten by police officers. Beaten by police officers time and time again. And once again, as I said before, it's not race, creed, color. What you choose to do in your life, it doesn't matter to me. What's wrong is wrong. Okay. Whether you like men, whether you're a woman that likes women, whether you're a man that likes man, I don't care about that. What I care about is what's right and what's wrong. Right here, we see completely that this is wrong. The man is being handcuffed. And as you see, the man has not one, not two, but 4 separate police officers handcuffing him. But this one particular police officer felt the need, because he's big, he's got a point to prove, to punch this man not once, not twice, but a few times. I'm going to back it up again because I want you to see what everybody else saw, where everybody stopped what they were doing, because you clearly see that he took a real good swing at this man that he's actually handcuffing, because everyone was stopped, everyone paused, and everyone looked. He went, as they would say in humorous terms, he went to kingdom come with a fist to punch this man in the face. Now, granted, the man is a little bit taller than him, but was it necessary? Absolutely not. So as you see, all the police officers stopped what they were doing, and they started looking at what was going on. So he punched him once. He punched him twice. I want to slow it down because I want you to see what I see. So he punched him once, punched him twice. Now he's trying to subdue him. Now he's trying to push him to the ground. Now he punched him again. Now he punched him again. So he got to the ground. Now I'm going to let it play so you can see how many times he punches him. Now, ladies and gentlemen, nieces and nephews, friends and family, loved ones near and far, this is utterly 100% disrespectful to that person in white, that gentleman, or that man, or that young man, or whatever. He is handcuffed. There's 4 police officers around him. Now, the other reason why I stopped it right here at this particular point is because not only did you see that police officer strike him several times as both his hands were in his back, the reason why I did not want you folks to hear what's happening and I want you to see what's happening is because they claim that a police officer turned around and said, taser, taser, which normally means that there's a police officer that's going to pull out the taser and tase the person, or AKA the suspect. And as you see, these 4 officers, neither one of them has a taser out. So he wasn't tased. So the concept now is, why was he being punched? Why did it take so many punches from this one particular police officer? Now, some would say, well, you know, they were going to tase him. Okay, well, let me back it up just a few seconds so you can see what I see. And I want you to realize why I say this is completely wrong. So, right here, at this still frame, I want you to look in the back. This police officer in the back has his hand on the taser. It's not drawn. The taser is not out the holster. The taser is not even pointed at the AKA suspect, the individual that's wearing white. So there is no taser deployment. Taser deployment is when the actual taser shoots out 4 prongs and the prongs go into the person, or AKA the suspect, or the person of interest, and or the person that they're trying to subdue. As you see clearly, there is no taser deployment. Yet the police department is going to emphasize that there was taser deployment. So the reason why I'm making so much gripe and talking about this video so much is because the people who are involved that are eventually are going to try and force the police department to provide the actual body cam footage, which I can tell you is 14 days away from this incident because it happened April 19th. So if April 19th till July 19th is 90 days, because they want to take 90 days, which I can tell you it don't take that long to get body cam footage, because the moment that police officer goes and clocks out, he takes his body camera, he puts it into a recorder, into a big machine, and records everything that happened that day off of that one body camera. So they have the footage. They're just taking their time to go through legal department to find out where they can turn around and say, well, he was doing such or he was doing that. They want to say that this guy was wrong and the police officer had total right to punch him in the face. Well, here's the thing. The first punch came from Kingdom Come. It came from way in the back. We've seen it. He took it way in the back, and 4 other police officers were looking at him like, what the hell's going on? No taser deployment. And then he continued punching him as he's being handcuffed and brought down to the ground. So as I continue the video, I want you to follow what I'm going to say. Right there. That is a stand of saying, I'm the bad mother flubber in this house. I'm the bad mother flubber that y'all don't mess with. I'm the mother flubber that you don't want to do anything with, because I'm just going to beat you up anytime I want because I can, and no one's going to stop me. That's that stance right there. That's the stance of saying, I don't give a shit about none of y'all. But he's a police officer. And the term of behind a police officer is protect and serve the citizens. That's the term. That is a fact. Protect and serve the citizens. Right now, he's not serving any of the citizens. Right now, he's not protecting any of the citizens. So how is it protect and serve? There is none. That is straight brutality from a police officer to a citizen, regardless of the fact. And the matter of the fact is that it's a desk appearance ticket for drinking in public and disorderly conduct in public. But of course, they're going to turn around and say that he resisted arrest. Why? Because he's fidgeting. But they're the ones fidgeting because, of course, you see there's 4 bodies trying to handcuff one person. So you have one cop pushing one direction, another cop pushing another direction, another cop pushing another direction, and one cop punching you. Is that resisting arrest? No. That's you being pushed around to force the concept of resisting arrest. But he's not resisting arrest. But they charge him with resisting of arrest, besides all the other charges that he's gotten. So I want you to watch the rest of this video for me. Now, I'm going to stop it there a moment because I'm going to back it up. Because remember what I said before. I spoke of how there's claim that a taser is being deployed. You see this yellow thing on the side of his hip, on his left side? That's a taser. Of course, you see there, it's not deployed. It's still in its holster. So the man in white never got tased. There are no prongs inside that man. So watch this. Now, there's a reason why I paused it here again. This police officer that's standing right here is a sergeant. He is on the scene. He is the supervisor of the scene. He was there from the beginning. He was there during the interaction. And as we see, the one who threw the punch is standing over here, glorifying his shoulders. His shoulders are back. His chest is out. Now, if anyone knows about, and this may be humorous, gorillas in the wild. Gorillas in the wild, specifically silverbacks, when they're in a bout, meaning they're fighting, the winner always stands up tall, pulls his shoulder back, and stands just like this, as saying that he has won the fight. That's what that police officer is doing. So clearly we see that this police officer has no respect for the citizens of that neighborhood. Okay? Now, here we see that the man in white is laying down, maybe unconscious, because he took 4 consecutive blows to his head. So he could be unconscious. Now we talk about protect and serve. I have seen a plethora of videos where police officers or law enforcement officers have turned around and provided aid to a person immediately, whether it's a taser deployment, whether it's a baton hit by another police officer, a punch in the head by another police officer, they immediately provide aid. I want you guys to show me where any of them provided aid to this man laying on the ground. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 police officers standing looking down at this man on the floor. Not near one of them are bending down. So the reason of this video is why I show you folks, and this is where it comes back to insanity, okay? The people of the Bronx, the people of New York keep voting for these politicians that claim they're protecting them, but they don't, okay? They truly, truly do not protect those people of the city. Now, this is why I say to you folks, this is government tyranny. These are paid employees of the taxes of the citizens, the business owners, the workers, the employed parties, everyone who makes a paycheck and pays taxes every year in New York is paying for police officers to do this. Clearly, I read to you a slew of numbers and police officers that have more than 5 allegations against them for misconduct. And I've also said to you the amount that has been found unfounded, meaning there's no reason for them to continue, was less than 1%. But you people keep voting for the politicians to protect you, and the politicians are allowing this to happen. When are you going to realize? Again, I go back to insanity. And again, I say it again, insanity. Why is it that you folks continue believing that insanity is repeating the same mistake and expecting different results? You keep voting for people and believing that these people are going to protect you. They're not protecting you. They're not. They're beating on you. They're abusing you. They're violating your rights. They're taking advantage of you. And you pay a portion to their salaries. But you continue allowing the police department in the city of New York and the police department in New York, which unfortunately, it hurts me to say this, you're allowing them to take advantage of you and abuse you. It is disgusting that you people that live in New York believe that the New York City Police Department, the NYPD, is there for good reasons. It's not. Clearly, you see this is not a good reason. As simple as if you had an employee that hit you, you're paying an employee. You have a business and you have an employee, and your employee felt the need. You know what? Today I'm going to wake up and I'm going to punch my boss in the face. Punches you in the face and walks away. Matter of fact, no, turns around, punches you 3 times again. I can rest assured that there's not near one of you that's listening to this that would allow that to happen. You would go ballistic. So why is it that the people of this town or this borough or this zip code 10454 believe that the police department, which is supposed to protect them, really protects them? They don't. So keep that in mind as I continue. With that being said, please understand, as I say before, and I say again, and I say it over and over again, I do not find humor in any of the reactions that I do. I bring awareness to what's happening. I don't like for anyone to understand differently. If you feel the need to believe that the NYPD is protecting you, I don't care what borough you live in. I don't care what zip code you live in. I can tell you now that NYPD does not care about its citizens. They don't. Okay? CCRB, which is the Civilian Complaint Review Board, doesn't care about the citizens. Okay? They're in cahoots with the PBA. The PBA is the Patrolman Benevolence Association. That's the union that protects the police officers. I've said it time and time again. Go after the pension of the police officer, right? Now, many of you say, oh, well, I can't do that. You are kind of right. You can't do it with the law enforcement, but anything else that they have, cars, houses, boats, property, anywhere, that's what you go after. And you take over that property. So they don't have that ability to say, well, I'm living comfortably anymore. Now you put them in a predicament to owe you money because you paid into their salaries by being a taxpayer. But if you don't listen to me, it is because you prefer to have the ruling of insanity, which is doing the same mistakes over and over and over and over again and expecting different results. These situations have not stopped happening. Look, I can go as far back as 1970, where I can tell you the situations have not become any different than what I just watched on this video. Okay? Now I'm going to show you another video. And I want you to understand that the next video I'm showing you is even more damaging, even more traumatic, even more heart-hurting, even to every possible level. It is disgraceful. So it's a fair warning to you. If you want to watch, you watch. If you don't watch, that's fine. I'm just going to point out the things that you need to understand. And I go back to the statement again. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You keep voting for the wrong people to protect you as a citizen. Because again, I go back to the Second Amendment and I go back to the 14th Amendment. If you in New York had the right to carry a firearm, I don't care if that police officer came up to you, you would have plugged that police officer for hitting that man in the face. So I want you to understand something. The next video is even more traumatic. Okay? So please understand, this is not to bring any humor. This is to bring awareness. And I want you guys to start fighting the right way as opposed to the wrong way, because you've been doing it wrong for so many years. If I can tell you that I still remember things happening back in the 60s and early 70s, and it's still happening now, that just goes to prove that the majority of the people inside New York City are basically insane because they're expecting a different result with something that's continuously happening. So again, the next video is extremely disturbing. It's going to hurt a lot of people. I'm telling you now, please be prepared. No sound. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, the video, I'm going to play it again, but I wanted that to sink in for a moment. I needed for you guys to understand why that video is played. First and foremost, this is not to find humor in it. This is to bring awareness to what I was trying to say, that I was saying, rather not trying to say, but I'm saying, because most of you don't want to listen. Okay? You continue to vote for the wrong people to protect you. Damn it, I don't know what it's going to take for you fools to understand that you're voting for the wrong people. You're voting for people because of their color. You're voting for people because of their lives. You're not really getting into the kit and caboodle about the person that's supposed to protect you and service you against government tyranny. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm going to play the video again so you understand what the government tyranny is all about. What's up, Brother Ron? Brother Ron, welcome, welcome. Thank you for sliding through. Okay, so let's get something clear. This also happened in April of 2026. This happened in Brooklyn. These two police officers or detectives were doing an undercover operation of buying drugs. Now, I revert back to, and I'm glad Ron is inside the channel right now. He's in the chat. Ron from Ron is Penny Don't Matter. Ron, you know we talk about this all the time, and I graciously, humbly bowed to you, and I said, you know what, I was wrong about the government tyranny, but this is a point where government tyranny is at its finest. Because again, the people of New York, you chose to vote for people because of their color, because of their lies that they told you. You bought into a lot of the bull crap that they gave you, and they allowed the police department to abuse the citizens the way they want to. The protect and serve concept behind the police department is no longer a point. Okay? It is something that the police department doesn't even care about. All right? And again, I can tell you from experience, going real far back into the early 70s, this has been going on since the 70s. So now we're in the 2000s. So we're talking about definitely over 30, over 50 years. You guys are still doing stupid shit over and over and over again. And you're still expecting a different result. You can't get a different result until you literally stop the madness. Okay? This is madness. If this happened to be where you in New York had the right to carry a firearm openly as a citizen, you have that right because that's the Second Amendment. And your 14th right is protect your property. The person filming, the person inside the actual liquor store. Look, I don't know what it's going to take for you to realize here you clearly see a guy in a black t-shirt, blue jeans, and a baseball cap. There is nothing on this fella that says NYPD. There is nothing on this fella that says he's law enforcement. Nothing. And you see him blow for blow this man trying to protect himself. The man went in there to buy himself some liquor, wine, beer, whatever it was. And here comes this guy, and he starts plummeting him. From where I'm from, and I know when I was in the Bronx, and I know when I was in New York, somebody did that. They got their tail handed to them. Okay? And it didn't matter what was there, a rock, a stick, a bat, a pipe, a bottle, a tire iron. They got their ass handed to them. So again, we watch a man with no identifying marks that he's law enforcement strike and beat and pummel another man because there's another man that has some type of law enforcement insignia on him, which joined in as well. But yet the one who applied the most damaging assault, physical assault, is the man that was not with identifying marks as a police officer. So if you had the right to bear arms like you do as a citizen of the United States, the store owner and the person filming had total right to shoot that man in that baseball cap with the black t-shirt for beating on the other man. Why? Because you as a citizen, you have the right to bear arms. You have the right to protect yourself against government tyranny. You have the right to protect your property. So the store owner had the right to protect his property while we watched this man swing this other man left and right and bust up bottles of wine and liquor and all this other stuff. Now we're going to take it one step further. The police officer that had the vest on that said NYPD, we saw him dragging this guy across the floor. Now let's understand something. We watched how there was bottles falling on the floor, wine bottles came on the floor, other things came on the floor. So there's a whole bunch of shattered glass on the ground. And he dragged them from one end of the store to another end of the store. Now, you don't believe me, I'm going to slow it down and I'm going to show you guys exactly what's happening. So the guy in the black t-shirt, no insignia, no identification marks. He's a police officer. None. But he's the one that keeps blowing and keeps blowing, keeps blowing, keep blowing, down to pushing him down. Again, there are no identifying marks that he's a police officer. None. Right? Again, you see bottles breaking. You see the man on the ground. And he falls down. Still hitting him. Still going at him. Still going at him. Now you see he's being dragged. How is this okay? How is this okay? How? There's no humor to this. This is straight disgust. Okay? Now, again, no identifying marks. This is where, for me, it gets even more disturbing. Why would this police officer believe it's okay to do this? Full kick right to the buttocks. The man is already down. You just dragged him 5 feet across broken glass, shattered glass, broken bottles of wine, liquor, whatever it was. So we know, I can tell you for sure, this man is bleeding from somewhere because he just got dragged across a bunch of shattered glass. You're supposed to protect and serve. Where's the protection? Where's the protection? Where's the serve? Did you serve his right? Did you serve his rights? Did you protect his rights? No, you treated him like trash. This is where it gets to a level of beyond disgust. Right here. You know you just dragged him across shattered glass, 5 feet or more, and you felt the need to put your foot on his face and stomp it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've heard it time and time again. I've seen it time and time again. I've heard people close to me time and time again say, this is why we don't trust the police department. You know what? quoting the famous words of Out the Pit, I hate saying Unc was right. And I'm going to hate saying this. Society's right. Everyone, regardless of what color you are, what shade of skin color you are, where you come from, where you were born, whether you're male or female, whether you like women or you like men or vice versa, however you want to look at it, you have the total right to be afraid of any law enforcement officer. Because all the videos that I have watched and all the videos I have reacted on that dealt with law enforcement have shown, the majority have shown, to take advantage and strike the supposed suspect in a very violent manner. As I said many, many times, and I say it again, this video is very, very disturbing in many levels. We have a police officer, plain clothes, no identifying markers that he's law enforcement. We have another police officer that only has a vest, doesn't have his gun drawn, straight beating on this man, dragging him across the glass. And we have the man that's being assaulted. So if New York State allowed you to carry a firearm, that store owner, that liquor store owner, should have shot that man in the black shirt clearly for destroying his property, not for protecting the man he was beating on, for destroying his property. Because again, the 14th Amendment states you are to protect your property. The liquor in that store is the property of the store owner because he bought it. You're inside his business. He needs to protect his business or her business. They had the right to shoot that man dead because they're inside. They didn't invite him. No, you're breaking up my store. You're breaking up. You costing me money, so I'm going to take you out. Period. But of course, New York doesn't allow you to have a firearm as a citizen. They find it to be unconstitutional. Wrong, because the Second Amendment clearly shows you are to protect yourself against government tyranny. NYPD is part of government. They do not protect you. They don't protect. It's been going on for more than 5 decades. And this is why, again, I say, many of you keep voting for people of the same complexion, the same skin color, believing that they're going to protect you. Does this show any protection? Because, of course, the politician of Brooklyn is supposed to protect you from this nonsense. It does not take 90 days to find out what happened in a situation. This also happened. It also happened in April of 2026. I'm going to let the rest of it play. Now, as I said, today's videos are very, very traumatic and very, very damaging to anyone who has an ounce of common sense. An ounce. You don't have to be the smartest person in the world. You don't even have to be the smartest person in the room. But you do have understanding of certain things are not supposed to be done. You watched, and I shared with y'all, 2 videos of the NYPD abusing 2 citizens of New York. And I've read to you how one specific police precinct has well over 300 complaints, and only 10 of those 300 complaints were resolved. But they continue to allow those police officers to work because no one keeps pressing the matter. Now, I want you to understand something. Many of you want to turn around and believe in what's called, I believe they call them activists. Activists that scream and holler in front of the camera and try to say that they're doing it for you. No, they're not doing it for you. Okay? And how I can say that is this. The video that we just watched, of course, that man, his name is Timothy Brown. And unfortunately, Timothy Brown would have so much trauma for the duration of his life because he's of age So his actual trauma will continue, hopefully for the next 50 years, if he lasts that long, but safely for the next 30 years. Okay? His injuries will last decades, internally, externally, and mentally. So all those activists that were out there screaming and hollering, I'm going to name just one. The mother of Eric Gardner. She stood side by side another gentleman of Brooklyn, a Brooklyn politician, talking about we have to find a way to get things better. No, you don't. You don't care. You're another one that believes in the wrong things because you've been doing the same thing. Even with the loss of your son, you still choose to believe that what you're doing is right. Are we not seeing it again? So apparently and clearly, what you thought you were doing it the wrong way. But you're expecting a different result. Where's the result? It's the same exact thing happening again. Okay? To someone else's son. To someone else's father. So here again, you guys in New York, and the reason why I specifically talk about New York is because this is a New York incident that happened in April. 2 separate incidents that happened in April. And I can tell you now, it doesn't take 90 days to get a solution. It doesn't. The moment those police officers go right back into the precinct and sign out for the day, their body cams get put into a device and it records everything. And within 24 hours, that information is available. But the PBA, which is the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, and CCRB, which is the Civilians Complaint Review Board, those are 2 entities that are supposed to protect the citizens, but they work hand in hand with the government to make sure that the police officers do not get put in jeopardy. Why? Because the police officers, let me give you a little rundown. Police officers pay into their union. Their union is the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association. That's where their lawyers come from. So, of course, they want to say, oh, well, we need time to figure out what's going on. No, because the fact of the matter is the fact of the matter. Neither one of those detectives had a body camera on. So if the video of the person that was recording inside that liquor store wasn't recording, they would have got away with beating that man to a pulp. If the video camera of the store owner wasn't recording, they would have got away with it. So it was back in the day, you didn't have recording systems. You had to go on the word of another person. So again, when are you folks in New York going to realize you need to stop believing that the people that you have voted to be your representatives are protecting you? They're not. The police department's not protecting you. The people you voted for, the elected officials, are not protecting you. The activists are just there to go to, how they say, shine in the light. A true activist would be out every single day protecting the people that voted for them. That's a true activist. An activist is a day-to-day thing to get things different. They're not doing it day-to-day. You don't hear about them day-to-day. You only hear about them when a situation comes about. So how are they protecting you? Because again, it's just like when you get a speeding ticket. Many of us drive above the speed limit every single day. You do it every single day. When you get stopped, you get nervous. Why are you nervous? Because you got caught. But you do it every day. So if you're an activist, which is supposed to protect the people, why are you not doing it every day? That's the question that you people that vote for these individuals to protect your rights, those are the questions you should be asking. When you don't see them out there fighting for you, hey, why you not? You asked me to support you. You asked me to be part of your committee. You asked me to support your views and your ideas, but I don't see you out here arguing and screaming for me. Why bother? Again, you have paid these people because your taxes pay these people to protect you, but they're not protecting you. So understand something, folks. I've said it time and time again. On my reaction videos, I don't find humor in the actions of the people. I find humor in certain things that's being done, not what's happening. Today's videos is to bring an awareness to people that live in a state that does not allow you to carry and protect yourself from government tyranny. The police department, law enforcement, is government tyranny. That is the underline of an abuse of power when a police officer strikes a civilian, especially if there is no reason to be provoked in striking that citizen. I recently watched a video where a man was stopped. He had both his hands up, clear as day. Wife was screaming in the back, "Don't do nothing, don't do nothing. Let him just say what he's got to say." Man had both his hands up in the air, looking directly at the police officer. Another police officer pulled up, jumped out of his car, ran straight towards the man while he had his hands up, choked the man, punched the man in the chest, and threw him to the ground. Again, if there was a state where the citizen had the right to protect themselves against government tyranny, the wife had every reasonable doubt or right to shoot that cop dead. Now, understand, I'm not provoking violence, nor am I saying that you need to go out there and kill every police officer. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to fight the right way. The right way is stop voting for people who make believe they protect you and they really don't care about you. Because these two incidents that happened in April, they're coming up on the 90th day. And if the activists and all those that want to be involved in saying they protect the people, they're there for the people, they're the ones that should be actually doing it publicly and what's happening. I'll give you another example. In the state of Florida, there's a sheriff that every time a situation comes about with his sheriffs or his deputies, rather, because he's the sheriff and the deputies work for him, anytime that they're involved in something that the citizens of that state rant and rave about, within 48 hours, he is showing all the citizens the body cam footage. And he specifically says, I don't hide anything from the citizens that I'm empowered to protect. Because if my deputies are wrong, they're wrong. And we're going to show the citizens of my city, my town, what we do here. That's in Florida. So, ladies and gentlemen, nieces and nephews, friends and family near and far, please understand something. I'm not telling you to go out and do stupid stuff against law enforcement. No. There are some good law enforcement officers out there, male and female. Unfortunately, the majority of them are just bad apples. And like the old saying goes, one bad apple destroys the bunch. There's no trust in the NYPD. I can tell you that right now. No one should trust any NYPD officer. No one. Because the NYPD is governed by tyranny. And getting removed from what they call desk duty. Most police officers that are considered to have a problem, they get put on desk duty. No, that's not the resolve, because at desk duty, they still are part of the law enforcement department. They're still police officers. They just don't have a gun and shield. But they're still getting paid by the citizens that are supposed to be protected and served. So you're still paying into their salaries. No, if there's unequivocal, undeniable, 100% proof that a police officer, just like in the two videos we just watched, where those police officers have abused and taken advantage of citizens, are to be terminated immediately, expeditiously. The moment that police, just like, okay, here's the thing. In a police shooting, the very first thing that happens during a police shooting is an investigating police officer comes over, grabs the pistol of the police officer and says, "Let me have your pistol." That police officer turns over that pistol because it's evidence in a shooting until the investigation is over. Then that police officer gets his pistol back or her pistol back until after the investigation. So, if there's unequivocal evidence, which means there is video footage we just watched of 3 specific police officers take advantage of a citizen, both punching, assaulting, hurting, injuring, mentally, emotionally, physically, citizens, they should be terminated on the spot. There should be no question about it. Because if it's you, the citizen, that struck another person and you get arrested, there's no question you go to jail. You go to jail, you got to go to the judge, you got to see the judge, you got to get a lawyer, you got to get this, you have a whole bunch of steps to do. So why not fire that person immediately, that police officer immediately? Because why? Because you are tainting the actual name and the right, that the oath that you swore to, because they swear in a group inside a building to swear to hold an oath. Part of the oath is to protect and serve. How are you protecting the citizens when you're pummeling them, beating on them, and abusing your power to the people who put money into your paycheck? So my opinion is this. Ladies and gentlemen, nieces and nephews, friends and family, near and far, if you live in a state that doesn't allow you to carry a firearm, you need to start choosing the side that will allow you to do so. Real talk. Because if you have your own firearm, the chances of law enforcement abusing you is slim to none. I can tell you like this. Where I live at, and the neighboring state, law enforcement has to call you before they come onto your property. They can't just walk on. They have to call you and say, listen, Mr. and Mrs. or sir and sir or whatever. They have to call you and tell you they're coming onto the property. Why? Because they know that they will be shot on site. And I'm going to quote Sheriff Judd from Florida. Shoot you dead. We're going to tell your family members where to pick up your remains, because we're going to shoot you dead because you're doing something wrong. Period. So if New York had the same concept and the same ruling, which is your right as a citizen to bear arms and protect yourself against government tyranny, these situations will not be happening. And I can tell you that it's been 5 decades that this situation is happening. There are more police brutality reports from the NYPD. It's just disgusting. But if you had a firearm on your hip, and that police officer knows that you have a firearm on your hip, and you legally have the right, because according to the Second Amendment, you have the right to bear arms against government tyranny, that police officer will not be trying to strike you. That police officer will be standing 20 feet from you and talking to you. And the moment that police officer encroached that 10 feet and you plug him or her, they would never do it again. Never. And you have the right to do that because you have the right to protect yourself against government tyranny. You have the right to protect your own property. That is your 14th Amendment. These are the overall laws that govern you as a citizen. All the other governments, state and local governments, are violating your constitutional right because the government tyranny, which trickles down to local law enforcement. So, ladies and gentlemen, nieces and nephews, please understand that here in the FATATCHULA Show, we do reaction videos based on what we are given and what we see. I do not find humor in someone's demise or someone's unfortunateness. I find humor in the actions of the people. So every week, 2 p.m. Sundays, we're going to have reaction videos. And I promise I will try my very best to make it more humorous next Sunday. Just like, subscribe, share the channel, and understand that I'm just here to bring an awareness and bring happiness to everybody. Okay? I'm going to start doing the reaction videos, like I said, every Sunday, 2 p.m. So you can mark it on your calendar, mark it on your phone, watch. If you subscribe, you get the alert. Make sure you hit the all so you can see what's actually coming up. And let's start having some laughs. Okay? After these 2 videos, we need some laughs. Okay? So I promise you in the next video, we're going to have a whole bunch of laughter and a whole bunch of goodness. With that being said, big old shout out again to Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter, to my sister Na Maria was sliding on through in the chat. Appreciate her coming on through. Shalom, shalom. May everything work well with you, according to Yah. And of course, my brother Ron from Ron's Opinion Don't Matter. I got to shake my head because, of course, Ron kept telling me about government tyranny, and I didn't want to believe it, but now, unfortunately, I believe it. And I'm agreeing with Ron from Ron's Opinion. Government tyranny is the one that you need to protect yourself from because no one's really going to protect you. No one out there is going to protect you but yourself and maybe your family members. So with that being said, another, again, big old shout out to Out the Pit Live, little nephew doing big things. Queen Sackcloth, she's doing big things. Big old shout out to her, little niece queen. To my queen of queens from top to bottom, big old shout out to her, because without her, this could not be done. Big old shout out to Ant like the bug, brother. I'm waiting for some more content from you. I can't wait to see some more stuff. Oh, also, I almost forgot, Snake Man Pit. This brother here made me laugh and made me shit my, as I said, it made me shit in my whitey shorties, okay? Because he deals with snakes. I don't like snakes. I like to wear them on my feet, but I will not mess around with snakes. The man has a bunch of snakes. It's funny, brother, and very, very open-minded brother. Really, really appreciate what he does out there. Again, everybody that I talk about is from the OG network. They're a family. We're a family of friends and, of course, a YouTube family, okay? And we come together. We do collabs. So every time something comes up, please like, subscribe, and share the channel. Because you subscribe to my channel, you'd be surprised on all the other stuff that comes up that may be interesting to you or may be interesting to someone else. But I'm here just to solely bring awareness and bring happiness. And I promise that the next week, Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to have some enjoyment, some laughter, as opposed to traumatic situations. It's just to bring awareness, let you guys and girls know, ladies and gentlemen, stop believing that the people that are protecting you are supposed that you paying and voting for to protect you don't protect you if they don't follow the overall law of the Second Amendment and the 14th Amendment. So with that being said, I thank you all for stepping in. I thank you all for stopping by. I thank you very much for supporting the channel. And I do hope to see many more of you support the channel. Come on through, have some laughs, send me some videos, whatever the case may be. And let's just have some fun, okay? My heart, of course, and my thoughts, I ask you all to have a glorious day and a wonderful time this week. And always remember, always remember, never say goodbye to anyone you love, because tomorrow is never promised. So with that being said, I say this to all of you now and later. I will see you later.
Fellas, ladies, you're looking for lotions, you're looking for beard oils, but unfortunately everything you get from mainstream got chemicals in it and they're probably killing you? No problem, we got you. Go check out my people from Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. That's Top to Bottom Hair and Skincare. www.top2bottom, BOTTU, the U is for unique, M.com. Tell them I sent you.